Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Wanted to do a quick video that was recommended to me by my buddy Ben, aka Shenmuso. So Ben had said to me, you're always talking about silly movies and B movies and stuff that you like. Why don't you do a video of some of your favorite B movies? So here are some of my favorite B movies in no particular order, and I'm sure I've missed a few because I have many. But so one of my more recent finds, I should say, that I watched online and then picked up is the Miami Connection. This is a sort of Samurai Cop-like film where it's so bad that it's good. It stars a inspirational speaker and Taekwondo master, YK Kim, I think it is. Yep. And this movie was found years ago by the Alamo Draft House, and then they proceeded to restore it as best as possible and put it on Blu-ray. The quality of the picture isn't great, but that's because I believe the original got burnt up in a fire or something, and it wasn't the original negative they had, or perhaps it just had damage on it. I don't really recall. It's about these group of guys who are best friends and orphans, and they live together and play in a really cheesy band where they sing about being best friends and doing Taekwondo, and they fight off a ninja cartel. It's as crazy as it sounds, and I think if you like cheesy, funny movies with a couple drinks with your friends, check out Miami Connection. I also have here a copy of The Barn, which is a great B horror movie made by Justin Seaman. It is a throwback movie which takes place in the 80s and kind of really captures that sort of, I don't want to say Goonies vibe, but it has that teenage vibe, going on an adventure type of thing, where they're fighting these three demons that get resurrected in their town. They're currently filming a sequel, which I put money in on Indiegogo. Can't wait to see. It also has Linnea Quigley and Ari Lehman, the original Jason who came out of the water in the Friday the 13th film. I would definitely recommend this if you like old school horror movies and like love letters to the 80s. Some of these movies are sequels and stuff like that, but I'm not going to pull all of them out, so I'm just pulling out the first one, and then I'll talk about, Penitentiary. I love this whole series. This is a blaxploitation set of movies. There's 3 of them by Jamal Fanaka. He also did MMA and Sweet Welcome Home, Brother Charles, and Street Wars. So Penitentiary is a film about Too Sweet, which is this guy that gets, if I remember correctly, his girlfriend gets attacked, or his wife, and he defends her and kills someone, and he gets in trouble and goes to prison, and then all this crazy shit starts happening to him in prison. It's got a serious tone, but it's kind of over the top, so it's funny. They made a sequel. They made 2 sequels. The second one is way goofier and funnier. There's what do they call them now? You can't say the word anymore. Little people in it. There's Mr. T in it. There's just crazy, crazy stuff happening in the sequel. And then in the third one, is his name the Haiti Kid, the wrestler? He lives in like a secret hole under the prison or something in the third one, and Too Sweet is back in prison, and he learns how to fight like an animal from him. And the third one isn't on Blu-ray or DVD, it's only on VHS. You could also watch it in full on YouTube. I'm really hoping somebody, Kino Lorber, Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome would be great. I'm hoping someone picks up 3 because it's just so weird, but 2 is probably my favorite, but 1 is very good as well. So check out Penitentiary if you haven't seen those films. I also have here, this one's pretty easy to be on the list. That is The Room by Tommy Wiseau. This is a really bad movie where this guy's fiance cheats on him with his best friend, and all of the dialogue seems like it is from outer space. And I always say that's probably because Tommy is from originally Poland, so he probably had a little bit of like a translation type of problem in terms of thought process. And on top of that, I believe he got into some kind of car accident years ago and he's a little off. So between all that, it's one of the best bad movies of all time. It's really funny, and not meaning to be, but it's very funny. Another one that everyone kind of would know would be on this list, and that is Troll 2. This is considered one of the greatest bad movies of all time. It is a sequel to Troll, which it has nothing to do with, and there are actually no trolls in this film. There are just goblins. This was directed by and maybe even written by this Italian duo from Italy who hardly spoke English, and the lost in translation thing just makes this so much better in regards to them kind of telling people how to act but not being able to fully express themselves. It's a movie about this little kid and his family who go on a trip to this place called Nilbog, and if you realize it sort of near the beginning of the movie, Nilbog is goblins spelled backwards, and there's goblins in the town eating people, and him and his family are trying to get away from them. It's really, really silly. Tons of great lines. It's one of the most famous bad movies or B movies ever. So check out Troll 2. Troll 1 was kind of uneventful, but Troll 2, very, very funny. Then we have the Trancers series. There is 6 of these. 5 of them star Tim Thomerson, who you may know from, I think, Xena and Doll Man. But this is my favorite role of his. The 6th one has like a girl in it that's supposed to be, I think, his daughter. But it's pretty much like a time travel type of film where he goes back in time to kill off this bad guy's family line, because the bad guy is going back in time and trying to kill off other people's family lines so that they can't stop him in the future. And there's like these zombies that he creates to kill people and stuff. It's a really cheesy, fun B movie from Full Moon. I like all of them. I think all of them are fun. 6 was my least favorite, but probably just because Tim Thomerson wasn't in it. This one you've heard me talk about a lot before on the channel. This is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, cyberpunk films, Nirvana with Christopher Lambert. This is a movie where Christopher Lambert is a video game designer, and he makes a video game that gets a virus and becomes self-aware. This has not come out on Blu-ray yet, just on DVD. I also have the Italian uncut version, which is region-free. I didn't want to show that one off because there's nudity on the cover, but the video game gets a virus, it becomes self-aware, and then it wants to be deleted because it's saying, you know, I'm repeating things over and over every day. It's a really fun video game and cyberpunk movie. Great visuals, some very interesting special effects. I'm trying to think what else. It just, I don't know, it just kind of hits home for me in regards to the feeling of the movie, and it's perfect for like a snowy night. So if you get snow in your area and it's like, you know, 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night and it's dark, check out Nirvana. I really hope this gets a Blu-ray release someday. It's one of my favorite films. We're down to the last few here, guys, maybe 4 or 5. Street Trash. This is one that, again, is fairly new to me, but I've watched a few times now. It's about these homeless people that drink this infected Tenafly Viper alcohol, and they all explode. It's really grungy and sleazy feeling. A lot of them are like hurting each other, cutting each other's members off. There's a rape scene in it. There's a lot. It's just like really grungy bad people, you know, trying to get this alcohol, not realizing it's going to kill them. And it's funny though. If you have a, you know, messed up sense of humor and you like, you know, crazy scenes, things like, you know, Brain Damage or Basket Case or Society, check out Street Trash. One of my other favorite series of movies, there's 2 of them. It's Samurai Cop. This is a movie that came out in the, I want to say it was the early 90s or late 80s, 91, with these cops. One of them is a samurai, and he, you know, is all, he's a white dude, but he's all schooled on Japanese culture, but then when he talks about it, he sounds completely ignorant to it, which is very funny. Lots of really bad decisions in the making of the movie. Like at one point, the guy starts laughing during one of the scenes, and they just leave it in the movie. Some of the quotes are really funny and cheesy. The action is funny. There's a guy that gets lit on fire during a scene, during a special effects scene, and he's looking around to see if someone's going to put him out. Like they just kept all the bad cuts in the movie. It's very, very funny unintentionally. It's a fun action movie. perfect for like hanging out with your buddies and laughing at something. The main actor, Matt Hannon, who goes by the name now Matt Carados, he had gotten a haircut, and then they asked him to come back to shoot some scenes, and he didn't have long hair anymore, so they were like really pissed off at him. But it was like a year later, and they put a wig on him. You see the wig fall off in the movie, and they kept the scene. It's like, it's nuts. They made a sequel, came out a few years ago. I believe Cinema Epoch had made that through, I want to say it was like Kickstarter or Indiegogo. It's good and it's fun, and I really enjoy it, and they got a lot of the old cast back, but it's very self-aware. There's like a lot of nudity in it, but it's very self-aware and silly and weird. It almost feels like a fever dream in a way. This one's more grounded, but I really enjoy both of them. Like I said, I wasn't going to pull both of them out, but I did want to talk about them. Another favorite movie series of mine is Sleepaway Camp. This is the first movie. It's a great horror movie. It's cheesy, but it's really good. It's about this girl and her cousin going to sleepaway camp, and all these people start getting killed. It's like a great 80s kind of timepiece. I want to say 80s. Don't tell me it's 90s at this point, because it definitely feels 80s. 83, the year I was born. So it's a great 80s timepiece. Got some great practical effects. It's very fun, and the ending is one of the best twist endings that I've ever seen in a movie, because it just creeps you out. It's kind of weird. So Sleepaway Camp, they made three sequels. The two of them star Pamela Springsteen, and they're way more like fun and tongue-in-cheek. They're really good. Then they did a fourth one, which is just a video of clips of the other movies. It was terrible. And then they did a fifth one called Return to Sleepaway Camp, which has some of the old actors, and it's based off of new children being at camp, and it's pretty fun. But I'd say 1, 2, and 3 are the best. Another trilogy of movies. Here's the first one, Maniac Cop. This has Bruce Campbell in it. He is one of the main characters in this one. I don't remember if he's in 2, but he's definitely not in 3. And it has Robert Zadar. He's the gentleman with the huge chin from Tango and Cash. And it's about a zombie cop or undead cop played by Robert Zadar, who goes around killing people, and Bruce Campbell's trying to stop him. It's really fun, a good horror movie, really fun, cheesy, and has a cool little cast. And they made 3 of them, and they're all good in their own way. So check these out if you haven't seen them. And as an honorable mention, this is a very bad movie. I mentioned it before. I'm a sucker for Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. This is one that you will either find really goofy and funny or really unwatchable, and that is National Lampoon's Last Resort. Corey Feldman's uncle runs an island resort and needs help with it, and he goes there with Corey Haim to help get the uncle out of financial woes. It is a bad movie. Like, some of these are good and like funny or have redeeming qualities. You may say this one does not have any, so I can't really recommend this one in good faith. For me, it's a guilty pleasure. It's not even a B movie. It's probably like a D movie. But as I said, I'm a sucker for the Coreys. It's got some goofy little comedy, really slapstick humor. Some of it hits, some of it really doesn't hit. But if you're a fan of them, maybe check it out. But it's not essentially a good movie. So, guys, let me know what you think of my movies here that I said are some of my favorite B movies. Thank you, Shen Muso, for giving me this idea. You actually triggered another idea in my head that I'm going to use in the near future on another video. And yeah, there's definitely other ones in here that I could have named, like Doom Asylum is really fun. A lot of the movies I've been watching lately, the weird B horror movies, come to mind. But I didn't want to have a stack of 50 here. So yeah, let me know if you've seen any of these. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.